Okay, Alba, I'm going to begin my interview by asking, I've sort of asked all of the shooting stars, this is quite a tricky question to begin with, but what does it mean to you to be a European shooting star?
I mean, it's a huge conquest. I've been following this program for so many years, and many of the actors nowadays are referenced both to me and I'm assuming to the other actors as well. So it's an absolute honor to represent Portugal that people sometimes can overlook in the bigger picture, of course, because we're a small country, but that is completely irrelevant. And it's a big stone, Mark. How do you call it? A stone. Stepping stone. That's the word. Yeah.
But yeah, because I was going to say, from the outside perspective, it seems like the Portuguese film industry is going through quite a good phase at the moment, though. It seems there's some really exciting talents coming out of Portugal. With obviously, you're one of the leading lights.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, in general, I have to say Portuguese have a very good English. And as soon as we've started getting this opening door towards self-tapes, we've been grabbing it. There are many actors in Portugal who are now just doing so many interesting projects, and this is such a good inspiration for the younger generation as well, and the older one, because everything is so much democratized now at the moment, and it's wonderful to be a part of this movement and to be part of this message of union, you know.
And you're in great company this year, aren't you, the shooting stars? We've obviously been speaking to lots of you, and I think this every year because we've been covering it for a number of years now, but I'm always kind of taken aback by just how much talent there is around Europe, and particularly this year it seems it's a really strong bunch.
Yes, I mean, I knew personally, I knew Albrecht Schuch from Germany, Berlin. I had seen 2 movies of him, and other actors. I've known of projects of them, but having met them on the first Zoom call was just mind-blowing to me, because you never think that you're worthy of being here, but then you realize you're meeting these incredible, interesting, fascinating actors, and who none of them believe that they're worth being here. And then it's just I think it's a very special thing that this program creates. Also, I don't know, I have a feeling that this might be a long-lasting friendship between these actors, because who knows, one day we might cross in a project, and that might be so special. And because we know the struggle and the fight and the and the stress of this whole thing.
Yeah, because we spoke to Albrecht actually, and he was saying that he's looking forward to showing you all guys around Berlin in June. Because I guess that must be quite exciting. Because I mean, usually we're all gearing up now to go to the Berlinale, but obviously it's all been pushed back. But you've got that kind of celebration in June to look forward to. You must be quite excited about actually meeting all of the shooting stars in person.
Absolutely, that's like the highway. That's what we're all looking forward to, because right now, everything we're doing is a bit scattered. We're doing an interview here, there, a Zoom meeting, whatever, which is, I don't know, I guess there's the level of not being as nerve-wracking, but then at the same time, you don't get to connect as much. So yes, we already have a WhatsApp group, and we're texting like June. It's going to be good.
Because I mean, you've obviously, you're still incredibly young, but you started so young doing this as well. Do you feel very at home now on kind of film and TV sets? Because I guess it's something that you've been doing ever since you were a child.
Well, I started at 16, and so yes, I don't know if I feel completely comfortable but I definitely more than when I was 16. But I think there's always this level of intimidation of a set and people and my own work. But I guess that's part of my personality. I'm not sure if that reflects on my on my work ethic, but yes, I definitely do feel at home, even though there's this level of intimidation.
And you've been someone that's always been tipped for great things, a real star in the making. Have you ever felt a kind of pressure at all to succeed? And if not, how do you kind of navigate your way around kind of high praise like that? And even things like the shooting star accolade I guess it's something you must be so thrilled to receive, but I guess you've got to always keep it kind of separate to work in some ways.
Yeah, I think actors in general suffer pressure all around. There's pressure from the moment you get the role, deliver it and when it shows to the world. So I think if we're able to somehow minimize the pressure, the constant pressure that we feel, that's an advantage for us personally, because yes, I personally have felt that pressure. I remember with Warrior Nun, there was a lot of things in the game for me to succeed, so to speak, and I was told on and on that if I wouldn't, the show wouldn't succeed, so I would have to succeed. And this type of realization can sort of crack the confidence of your own performance. But I think it's looking at it in a distance perspective and realizing what we're doing, what we want, and how we believe in our work. I don't know.
Well, God, that sounds like quite an unfair pressure to put on you for Warrior Nun, but luckily the show was brilliant, so which is handy. I mean, that you must have been thrilled to get that role. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you would have been incredibly nervous to begin with, but I mean, the lead in a Netflix series. I mean, you can't go too far wrong there.
No, it took me a while to realize what was actually happening during the audition phase. When I first got the self-tape, I didn't know it was going to be the lead for a Netflix show. So I had no pressure in that. And then the second round, I realized, okay, this is what's in the game. But I don't know. I think I took it in a very just sort of I didn't take it too much pressure on me, because I thought this is such a unique position to be in. I don't know if I'll ever be in this position again. So I'm just going to have fun and to not think too much about it.
So you're working on, worked on Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. That looks really, really exciting. Has that finished now? Have you guys wrapped on that? What sort of stage is that production?
Yes, we wrapped the big part of the movie in Budapest, and now we're going to shoot a couple extra scenes in Paris. So that's going to be in April, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, hopefully still by the end of the year, we'll have the movie premiering somewhere nice.
I mean, obviously working with Isabelle Huppert, Leslie Manville. I mean, these are two icons of kind of cinema, real kind of queens. I mean, how much do you learn from being on set with actresses of that caliber?
Well, I think it's learning with respect, of course, and I'm not a very talkative person by nature, on set at least, and so my strategy was to simply observe, and I would observe, and of course I would let them lead when it came to having a scene together in terms of rehearsing and talking. I would give them space, and then with time, when the confidence starts to build as actors, as people, you can start creating a relationship as well. And I think that happened so very organically with both of them. And from that point, yes, I felt the freedom to ask questions here and there that were in my head, and it's amazing.
So my final question was, I mean, just wondering, because I mean, you're fluent in a sort of a number of languages. Do you have a kind of a game, like not a game plan, but do you have a kind of idea of like what you want the next 5 years to be? Maybe moving to one country, trying this, or are you just like, do you just go wherever the best roles are and wherever the kind of best characters are that come your way? Do you kind of go project by project, or do you have a kind of structure in place for where you want the kind of next 10 years of your career to go?
Well, I think, yes, I do have a sort of a structure of short, middle, and long-term goals set out for me. But the thing with this industry is that it's so unpredictable. And I realized recently that I have absolutely no control of what comes to me. And so it's a little bit of, preparation and opportunity mixed together. And yes, I do have my goals in terms of European cinema. I would love to explore the languages I speak. And yes, do transformative roles, do opposite roles, and unexpected ones too. Of course, never losing grasp on my own country. That would be, that's important to me as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!